Every day, millions of people wake up feeling emotionally numb, exhausted, hopeless, and disconnected from life. Not because they are weak, not because they are lazy, but because they are living with the physical reality of clinical depression. It is an invisible battle fought within the very architecture of the mind. Clinical depression, medically defined as major depressive disorder, is a recognized psychiatric condition affecting mood, cognition, memory, and systemic physical health. It is not temporary sadness. It is a disorder that fundamentally alters how the brain functions. It erodes the networks that allow us to engage with the world, trapping the individual in a state of persistent biological dysfunction. For over 2,000 years, depression was understood through the lens of melancholia, a supposed excess of black bile. Hippocrates was among the first to suggest it was a physical ailment of the humors, a radical departure for a time when many saw it as a spiritual curse. This led to the era of SSRIs, the idea that we simply needed to top up serotonin levels. While these drugs saved millions of lives, they didn't address the structural architecture of the brain, leaving nearly a third of patients without relief from the chemical imbalance model. This damage is compounded by neuroinflammation. Chronic stress activates microglia and astrocytes, shifting them from a protective role to a reactive state. This microglial storm aggressively destroys healthy synapses, eroding the very architecture of neuroplasticity. A major breakthrough in 25 is the GLX biomarker. By measuring these levels via MRI, doctors can objectively see if a treatment is working within days, finally ending the exhausting trial and error cycle for patients like Sarah. IV ketamine is the catalyst for this revolution. It achieves nearly 50% reduction in symptoms within days by releasing the interneuron brakes on the prefrontal cortex, a process known as cortical reawakening that triggers massive structural remodeling. Beyond magnets, low-intensity ultrasound, or LIUN, is the new frontier. It targets deep-seated emotional circuits with millimeter precision and an extraordinary safety profile, without the need for implants or invasive surgery. This is the future of targeted psychiatry. This network failure often begins with the HPA axis, the brain's stress response system. This is our biological alarm designed for short-term survival, but under chronic stress or trauma, it stays active, flooding the brain with the hormone cortisol. Prolonged cortisol flooding is toxic. Over time, it causes actual structural damage to the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for emotion and memory. This biological shrinkage explains the memory loss and cognitive impairment seen in MDD. This damage is compounded by neuroinflammation. Chronic stress activates microglia and astrocytes, shifting them from a protective role to a reactive state. This microglial storm aggressively destroys healthy synapses, eroding the very architecture of neuroplasticity. New 2025 data using epigenetic clocks shows that major depressive disorder literally accelerates biological aging. The stress of MDD leaves marks on our DNA, suppresses neurogenesis, and can even pass increased stress sensitivity to future generations through epigenetic shifts. Consider Sarah, who struggled with treatment-resistant MDD for years. Her brain was physically trapped in a rigid, maladaptive loop. But through the integration of the breakthroughs we are about to explore, Sarah was able to achieve full remission by rebuilding her neural pathways. We are even using AI to analyze digital biomarkers, detecting subtle changes in speech, typing dynamics, or social withdrawal patterns. These tools can predict depressive relapses with 88% accuracy before the patient even feels the symptoms, allowing for truly proactive care. In 25, we also address the gut-brain axis. An imbalanced microbiome can send inflammatory signals that trigger the microglial storm we discussed. Gut-targeted interventions, like precision probiotics, are now being used to protect the brain from systemic inflammation. Mental health is holistic. The evidence is unequivocal. Combining these biological breakthroughs with evidence-based psychotherapy, like CBT, yields the most resilient outcomes. Molecular breakthroughs must be paired with public health action, integrating mental health into the very fabric of primary care and community support. Clinical depression is a biological reality, but it is highly treatable. Up to 70% of people recover within a year with proper care. If you are struggling, seeking professional help is the first brave step. The science of 25 is on your side. You do not have to fight this alone. Together, through science, integration, and empathy, we can turn the tide on the global burden of depression and rebuild the architecture of hope. Thank you for exploring the neurobiology of resilience. Join us in this new era of mental health.